As ancient civilizations rose and fell, their belief in all-powerful deities brought strangers together under shared faith, fostering unity and community. Yet the pursuit of scientific knowledge cast doubt on the idea of God. God was destroyed in the name of intelligence and the progression of humanity. What has this led to? Who holds the truth? The answer remains elusive, but you are about to find out now.
There's a physicist with the name of Werner Heisenberg, and he has a very famous quote. This quote states, "The first gulp from the natural sciences will make you an atheist, but as you keep gulping down the water, at the bottom of this glass, at the bottom of this cup, God is waiting for you." In the past decade, there has been a rise of atheism, people stopping to believe in God in the hopes and belief that it makes them more scientific, more intelligent, and even happier. Atheism has been on our rise because of science, right? And we say, yeah, no, God isn't real. We have scientific explanations for everything. And people buy this. God isn't real. Science is real. Science is something I can see in front of me and believe in, and it's right there, and I have the evidence, and this happened because of this, and this is the cause, and this is the effect. God is not real. God plays no hand in this. And people thought it would make them more intelligent. People thought it would make them live happier and more explainable lives. But in fact, the opposite happened. The rise of atheism led to nihilism. It led to modern nihilism, which means people who live lives that are empty, basically. They live lives because they have to. They are simply existing. They're not even living. A very nihilistic viewpoint is one that does not believe in hope, it does not believe in a better future, it does not believe in any reason to live, actually. A nihilistic person does not believe in a reason for it, but he literally doesn't believe in a reason to live. I'm just born on this planet because why not? It's led to the rise of a lot of evil people, because when you have no connection to God and no fear of possible repercussions in the afterlife, there's no reason for you to be fearful of God. There's no reason for you to be a good person. It's also led to the rise of a lot of lost people. People with identity crises. People who don't know what they're here for. People who don't know what to do. People who are generally lost. Especially with the identity crisis thing I'm talking about. I'm sure you can imagine what I'm talking about. Let's talk about the Big Bang. And a lot of people will say, bro, God isn't real. Everything started from the Big Bang. Well, you may be right. The Big Bang existed, bro. The Big Bang existed, but here's the thing. The Big Bang created the laws of our universe. Or did it? The Big Bang happened. But what caused the Big Bang? You see, our universe obeys a lot of physics, a lot of laws. For example, gravity, right? Everything obeys gravity. Everything obeys time. Time and gravity are laws of the universe. These are physics of the universe. Something has to have a creator. Everything has to have a creator. The earth has to have a creator. Stars have to have a creator. This wallet, I won't show you my wallet. It's too stuffed. This fucking scissor over here has to have a creator, and it does have a creator. And I have a creator, my parents, and they have their creators, and they have their creators, and they have the earth has its creator, which is the rock that, split off from the Big Bang. Everything has its creator up until we get to the point where there must be a singularity at the beginning. And this singularity is what we call the Big Bang. But then we say, what is the Big Bang? What created the Big Bang? And therein lies the question of, is it God or is it something else? And if it is God, well then, what created God? And this is the question that many atheists face themselves with. What created God? But let me attack this question from a different viewpoint. Let me give you this analogy that is very famous and very easy to understand. You go to a bake shop and there are muffins, right? The muffins were baked by the baker. Who baked the baker? This is an illogical question, a question that isn't really answered, because the baker wasn't baked. The baker isn't an object that relies on the laws of baking. The muffin needs milk and it needs eggs and it needs flour. I don't know how to make muffins, but whatever it needs. Milk, eggs, sugar. It needs those things. The baker didn't need those baking laws, because the baking laws is like, okay, baking soda, milk, eggs, raisins, cheese, whatever you put in the muffins. These are the laws, the ingredients. The baker doesn't have these ingredients. It existed without these ingredients. It obeys different laws than the muffin. So therein lies the answer to what created God. God can't be created because creation is a law of this universe. Creation and the creator of the creation is a law. Time is a law. It is a law of this universe. Why would the creator of these laws be bound by the laws he created? Do you understand what I'm trying to say here? It doesn't make any sense at all. If I created a piece of cloth with strings, and then someone asks, oh, what dye did you use? Or how many strings did you use to create this cloth? And I answer like 500. He can't really ask, well, how many strings did you use to create yourself? Because these are different laws. God created the laws of the universe, so you can't apply these laws to God. God creates. Creation is a law of the universe. You can't give a law to the creator of these laws. I hope you understand and you thought deeply about this analogy. Another thing believers have is a community, ethics, and a moral framework. In your religion, bro, whatever religion you follow, you have a community around you. You have a sense of tribalism, a sense of camaraderie, a sense of a brotherhood united by one purpose, which is your belief. For Muslims, everyone comes together in Ramadan and Eid. For Christians, it might be Easter. Each religion has its own community and it has its own belief and it has its own sense of tribalism and camaraderie. And this is very needed in today's modern world where everyone is so isolated, alone, and lonely. It's so needed. It gives people a sense of community. It gives them morals. It gives them ethics. Ethics come from the scriptures, and morals, the same thing, the origin of morals. Bro, most countries are based on religious beliefs. Even the United States, even the West, right? They were originally founded on Christian beliefs. The United States especially is a Christian country, and most of its laws come from the beginning of Christian beliefs. Not just, they didn't just spawn there. In fact, I've been reading this book. Where's my Kindle? I definitely recommend you get one of these. I keep on showing this book because of how awesome it is. It's called Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. It's a very nice book. I definitely recommend you pick it up. There's a tribe that is still living to this day that is uncontacted by religions and uncontacted by human ethics and human morals, the ones we are used to. But they basically live naturally, right? In like the ancestral kind of way. They are uncontacted by religions. You know what they do to old ladies when they get too old? They butcher them violently. Imagine your grandma's like getting old and getting tired, and like they're going on a hunt or something, and they realize, oh, she kind of fell and now her hand hurts. Let's slowly butcher her. And you have to watch your grandma getting butchered. And they do the same thing to little babies. Let's say there's four male kids that were born, and then there were 7 female kids that were born. They'll slaughter like 3 or 4 of the female babies. Literally, it's just like they don't even think about it. They don't think of it as a bad thing. They think of it as the same way we kill cows for meat. It's just like a normal thing. Oh yeah, but too many babies, we have to kill. Oh, this is an old grandma, it's gonna slow down our tribe, we have to kill. They don't even think of it as evil or as bad or as a negative thing. They just think of it as something necessary, something to be done. Of course, in our society, if we see our grandmas getting butchered mercilessly by like a sword or by an axe, a slow, gruesome death, of course that would affect us, but it doesn't affect them. They accept it, right? They accept it. If a girl gets diseased, if a little girl gets diseased, a 9-year-old girl gets diseased, they don't really try and cure the disease. They will butcher the girl. I'm telling you, bro, read this book, you will see what I'm talking about. They will butcher the girl mercilessly to end the disease. This is what happens when morals, an extreme case of what happens when religious morals are not in contact with humans. Because morals come from religion. They really do come from religion and religious scriptures and the old times, right? Imagine what's happened, or imagine what's going to happen to the atheists who continue to live down the line. You see the agendas they're pushing on us. You see the evil people. You see the child predators. You see the pedophiles who live on top. Do you think they are godly men and women? Do you think the people who walk down the streets in parades with green hair and their tits out and saying, "We will convert your children"? There's been this parade, and they're saying something along the lines of, "We are here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." How disgusting is that? I'm not going to get into that too much, but do you think these people are godly people? They are the definition of Satan. Now, of course, there are restrictions when it comes to believers. There are restrictions, there are morals, there are rules you have to follow when it comes to your religion. And any religion that has no rules is, quite frankly, an intolerant religion, and there's no point of believing in it. There's genuinely no point. If you stand for everything, then you stand for nothing. So for Muslims, for example, they can't drink alcohol, they can't eat pork, they can't have premarital sex. For Christianity, I think they can't have premarital sex either. They have to do like some kind of fasting. Same with Muslims. There's a couple of rules believers have to follow. The reality is most followers are not perfect. In fact, no followers are perfect. So there will be people who falter. There will be people who make mistakes. There will be some corruption. But the quest isn't to achieve true perfection. The quest is progression, not perfection. Because we will never be perfect. These restrictions may make people believe that the world is a paradise for atheists, yet hell for theists because of the restriction. Theists is the opposite of atheists, if you didn't get it already. And I personally don't think so. I think the restrictions that come with things like premarital sex, alcohol, avoiding drugs. Do you notice how all three of these things that were restricted are degenerate things? For Muslims, it's eating pork, for example. But let's talk about these three. Most restrictions, most religious restrictions, have been proven time and time again to be good for humanity. Premarital casual sex fucks humanity. It fucks men, it fucks women, literally. It fucks men, it fucks women, it destroys them, it destroys their soul, it destroys the family unit. Alcohol, we already know how that's bad for you. Don't even get me started on drugs and fentanyl addicts. We've seen how things can ruin humanity. We've seen how these restrictions, once broken, ruin humanity. It is so obvious. So are these restrictions really placed against us, or perhaps placed for us to aid us in our journey to salvation? I don't know, that's something to think about. But after all I said, do you know what the true best benefit of being a believer is? It's so interesting. It's the fact that we do not fear death. We do not fear death. In fact, we welcome it with open arms, and unfortunately for them, atheists fear death. Most do, at least, because for them it is unknown and they're scared. And I guarantee you, all of them have this one little inklet of doubt, have this one little inklet of perhaps belief that God does in fact exist, but they don't want to follow it because of their weak willpower and their ability to, or their inability to avoid restrictions, which makes them cope and say, "Oh, religion isn't real because I want to smoke and have sex all the time." Atheists fear death. We do not. We actually look forward to it. We look forward to what will happen after death. It isn't something we are afraid of. And again, it takes me back to the beginning where you might think that God isn't real because, oh, science. But the deeper these scientists look into life and how it's created and how it's shaped and how coincidentally everything is perfect. You know, if the earth was 1 centimeter closer to the sun, we would all burn to death. Everything had to be in perfect harmony. I don't think that's a coincidence. So in the end, I guess it all goes back to reject modernity, embrace God. Wish not for a lighter load, but for a stronger back.